Okay, this morning we're processing our blue OB dolphins. We lost our entire breeding colony in the winter storm. We tried to rebuild one last time with one male who I wasn't that pleased with, and 16 little ones. Okay, this is the male that we put in there. You see, he doesn't have, what I'm looking for is a nuchal hump that's Nuchal, and unlike flower horns, which have the large fleshy one, this is skeletal. This is humps made from bone. This is a young male who may develop a pretty decent one, and then this is a very colorful young male. He was actually the little colorful one, obviously not a blue OB, he's more of an orange OB, was one of the supposed 16 females, young females I put in there. What we ended up with out of those 16 fish are these 7 OBs and those 5 non-OBs, and we ended up with say 3 little males out of there. So we ended up with, got 15 of them back, and I was right about what sex they were. For most of them, they were really young. They've grown up now. Let's take a look at some interesting females here. She's got nice color. Let's put her in the tank and take a look at her. I'll go ahead and get these males put up in their bucket. I'm going to use that little orange male in this breeding colony just because I don't have someplace to put him right now. See, that's a nice female. This would be a good little female to fit with that orange male. Both of those would be, but right now we're just going to take those 3 males and we'll see if we can get more breeders next time. This is going to be a small breeding colony. I'm adding 6 young female OBs. We had I don't know, 20 or 30 little fish, and so I'm going to add those breeding colony. Out of this breeding colony, this cycle, we got 145 youngsters, ranging from an inch up to 3 inches. The 3-inch ones were ones they produced pretty quickly. So it did have at least one fertile female, mature female at the time. She was big enough to spawn. And judging from the fry, the bigger fry, it was one of the non-OBs. OB in this fish is, which originally stood for orange blotch, but it's come to mean any blotched fish now. And it's a dominant gene in this fish. So with these 3 OB males, we should get OB offspring out of even the non-OBs. It's clear from the offspring that that big male we looked at, is heterozygous for OB. He's carrying the recessive allele for non-OB, and so a lot of the fry are non-OBs. So we're going to grow those 145 up. Hopefully we'll get a bunch of females next breeding cycle, and I'll decide what to do with the males at that point. We don't have much choice. We just have to go with what we have at this point to get the strain built back up. Later on, I'll have to select more strongly for the nuchal hump. Let me take a look at this little fish. This is one of the, let me put him in aquarium. This is one of his sons. Excuse me, not one of his sons, one of the little ones that we had set aside, what we call BRUs, breeders unsexed, last time, about 20 of them. And he's a sky blue. Sky blue is basically a blue OB with a recessive gene that causes the blue to be sky blue instead of dark blue. This fish is obviously homozygous for it. Judging from the fact that we had some other sky blues in that batch, we had that recessive gene in the population. I'm probably going to see he's starting to get a hump, so I'm probably going to keep him to put in with the sky blue dolphins. Okay, good dolphin keeping. Okay, while we're working fish this morning, I moved an empty bucket, and underneath it were two little skinks. I've got to be really careful because their tails pop off very easily. This is a Eumeces species. I forget exactly what, it's the genus Eumeces. I'm not sure about the specific name. I'd have to go look it up. I just don't remember it now. I'm going to put him back over, well, I'm going to put him over here in these by these trays. We're starting palm seeds.
Fred the skink?
Yeah, this is Fred the skink. We're starting palm seeds in these trays. See a couple of them coming up there. I'm just going to put him down there beside the tray. He seems to be happy in the greenhouse, so I'm going to leave him here. Okay, good skink keeping. This morning we're working a species from Lake Malawi. It's Aulonocara baenschi. Note that I pronounced the I on the end of the word as a long E. That's because it's a Latin ending. But I didn't pronounce the AE in baensch because that's not how it's pronounced natively. You pronounce it the way that the person's name is pronounced. So it's baenschi. This fish, we lost almost all of them in the winter storm. We had several hundred. We ended up with 3 males, 3 females, and 4 juveniles. For some reason, we only got 1 juvenile out. We have our 3 females and our 3 males. Why don't you come over and look at the males? You can see, while they look pretty much alike, there's differences. For example, this male is a lot redder than the other 2. Has more red on him. This is more gold.
That one on the right has prettier fins.
Yeah. Their selection by breeders can change fish dramatically. I could take these 3 males and give this gold one females and select for gold. I could take this male and select for red body, and this male and select for blue body with red fins. And give me a few generations, I can make those 3 lines look a whole lot different from each other. And it's hard not to go with your feelings on a fish. And an aquarium strain, a hybrid strain, that's perfectly okay. When you're maintaining a species, you don't want to take it too far away from the original fish, although I have no idea which one of these best represents the original fish. We're going to set these 3 bigger females that survived, 1 of the juveniles, which I think is a female that survived, and these 3 males back up for breeding. All we got were 40 fry out of this breeding colony, but they were young fish when we set them up. The other thing is, these are the few survivors of the winter storm. They survived temperatures and ammonia levels that the other fish weren't able to. So they're going to pass along genes for cold tolerance and for ammonia tolerance. Basically, this population went to a genetic bottleneck. The cold temperatures, water temperatures down into the low 50s Fahrenheit, killed off almost all the other baenschi, killed off all the other baenschis, and just left these survivors. And then the 2 weeks after the storm, because of all the dead fish in the system, even though we're trying to get them out as quickly as we could, the fact that our Plant filters got hurt. Our plants got damaged by the cold as well. Also some by some carbon monoxide from the heaters. The ammonia levels went sky high for a week or so. These fish survived that. Okay, good fish keeping.